Do you feel it? That suffocating weight of a life lived on someone else's terms. It's not a chain you can see, but you feel its pull every single day. It's the exhaustion that settles in your bones, not from hard labor, but from 1,000 tiny surrenders. It's the silent scream in your soul when you look at the clock and realize another day has been stolen by meaningless tasks, endless notifications, and the hollow promise of a scroll that never ends. This isn't living, warrior. This is being consumed. You are trapped in a digital fog, a storm of noise designed to keep you weak, distracted, and reactive. You are a ship without a rudder, tossed by the algorithm's waves, and you are sinking. The battlefield is your own mind, and the enemy is the undisciplined voice that whispers treason in your ear. It's the voice of the default, the comfortable lie that says, just check it for a minute. You can do the hard work later. You deserve a break. This voice is the architect of your mediocrity. It convinces you to trade your grand ambitions for a cheap hit of dopamine. It has you chasing the urgent while the important withers and dies. You are intelligent, you are ambitious, you know you were forged for more than this. But that knowledge is a poison when it isn't matched by action. It becomes a daily reminder of your own self-betrayal, a haunting ghost of the person you could be if you only had control. Listen to me. The cost of this inaction is absolute. It is the slow, grinding erosion of your own identity. It is the certainty that in 5 years you will be in this exact same place, only weaker, more frustrated, and with more regret etched into your face. You will become a footnote in your own story, a consumer in a world that desperately needs creators, a ghost haunting the ruins of your own potential. You've tried the productivity hacks, the motivational hype, the complex apps that promise to organize your chaos. They are temporary fixes. They are bandages on a mortal wound. They fail because they don't address the root of the rot. You are running on broken software. What if I told you there is an operating system for the human will? A hidden code forged in the fires of chaos and war, used by emperors and generals to build empires while the world around them burned. This isn't a philosophy for dusty books and quiet contemplation. It is a weapon. It is the command and control system for your mind, the blueprint for building an unbreachable fortress of focus and purpose right in the heart of modern distraction. This is the code that separates the 1% who command their lives from the 99% who are commanded by it. This is Stoicism, not as you know it, but as it was intended. A brutal, practical arsenal for winning the war against your own weakness. In the next few minutes, we are not going to talk about feelings. We are going to forge armor. I will hand you the Hidden Stoic Code to power, the laws of discipline that will silence the voice of mediocrity and turn your chaotic mind into a precision weapon. We will strip away the lies, expose the enemy within, and build the inner citadel from which you will command your focus, your energy, and your destiny. This is your chance to stop being a victim of your day and become the architect of your life. The battle for your future starts now, but warriors do not enter the arena without commitment. Before we lift the first weapon, prove your discipline. Subscribe to this channel and hit the like button. This is not for me. It is your first declaration of war against the undisciplined mind. Then go to the comments and write your personal warrior's creed. It can be simple. My focus is my power. Or, I do not run from the hard thing. This is your oath. This is you drawing the line in the sand. Do it now. We begin when you are committed. You are here because you recognize the symptoms. Now, let's diagnose the disease. This isn't a lack of time. It isn't a lack of talent. It is a sickness of the will, a plague of the modern soul. It is the slow rot of a life lived on default. You have allowed your mind, the greatest weapon you will ever possess, to become a battlefield controlled by the enemy. Every notification, every trivial demand, every fleeting impulse is an enemy patrol that has breached your defenses. You are living in a state of self-imposed siege, starved of purpose and direction, while the undisciplined voice in your head negotiates your surrender in exchange for one more hit of cheap comfort, one more moment of easy distraction. This is not an external attack, warrior. This is an inside job. The call is coming from inside the house. Look at your body, the temple that was meant to house a warrior's spirit. It has become a monument to compromise. That morning workout you promised yourself, it was traded for the soft comfort of the snooze button, the clean fuel your body needs to operate at peak performance, sacrificed for the instant gratification of sugar and processed poison. The voice of the default whispered, "You're tired. You deserve it. Start tomorrow." And you listened. You always listen. Now, that weakness has taken root in your flesh. You feel it in the lethargy that clings to you like a shroud, in the aches that have no cause, in the reflection that looks back at you with a stranger's tired eyes. You have forgotten that a weak body breeds a weak mind. Your physical compromise is the first and most visible crack in the fortress of your discipline. Now look at your work, your craft, the arena where you were meant to build your legacy. You mistake motion for progress. You are the master of the urgent, the slave of the immediate. You clear your inbox with ruthless efficiency, but the great work, the project that could define your career, sits gathering dust. Why? Because it is hard. It requires unbroken focus, a battle against the resistance of your own mind, and the undisciplined voice hates that battle. It prefers the easy wins, the small tasks that provide a constant illusion of productivity. So you firefight, you react, you become a reliable cog in someone else's machine, trading your genius for the security of being busy. You are not an architect of your destiny. You have become a janitor of trivialities, sweeping up the messes of the day while the blueprint for your masterpiece yellows in a forgotten drawer. The poison seeps into your relationships. You are physically present, but mentally. You are a ghost. You sit across the table from someone you love, but your mind is 1,000 miles away, hijacked by the phantom limb of your phone, twitching with the urge to check, to scroll, to escape the profound discomfort of a single, focused human connection. You give the people who matter most the dregs of your attention, the leftover scraps of a mind already devoured by the algorithm. The voice of the default tells you this is normal, that everyone is like this. It is a lie. It is the excuse of the weak. The truth is, you are failing the people you swore to protect because you have first failed to protect your own focus. You are becoming a spectator in your own life, watching your most precious moments unfold through a screen of mental fog. Let's tear down the most dangerous lie you tell yourself, that your busyness is a badge of honor. It is not. It is a shield. It is the armor you wear to protect yourself from the terrifying silence where the real questions live. Am I living a life of purpose? Am I becoming stronger? Am I proud of the person I am today? Your endless to-do list, your back-to-back meetings, your constant state of low-grade panic, it is all an elaborate distraction, a frantic dance designed to keep you from facing the hollow truth of your own inertia. You have become addicted to the chaos because it numbs the pain of an empty soul. You are not busy because you are important. You are busy because you are afraid. You are terrified of what you might find if you ever stopped running. The root of this disease is simple, warrior. It is a crippling addiction to comfort and a mortal terror of pain. Not the pain of a sword, but the pain of discipline, the pain of saying no to the easy thing, the pain of sitting with a difficult task for one unbroken hour, the pain of choosing the broccoli over the burger, the pain of putting your phone in another room. Your undisciplined mind is a creature of pure instinct. It sees this productive pain as a threat to its survival, and it will flood your system with 1,000 excuses, 1,000,000 rationalizations, to retreat to the familiar cave of comfort and distraction. This cave feels safe, it feels known, but it is not a sanctuary. It is a tomb. You are not living in it. You are being buried alive, one comfortable choice at a time. Do not fool yourself into thinking there is time. Look 5 years down the road. The path you are on does not lead to a sudden, dramatic collapse. It is worse. It is a slow, imperceptible fade into mediocrity. Your body will be softer, your mind slower, your career a flat line of unfulfilled potential. The relationships you neglected will be hollow echoes of what they could have been, and the voice of regret, once a whisper, will become a deafening roar. It will be the soundtrack of your life. This is not a guess. It is not a prediction. It is a mathematical certainty. It is the inevitable destination of your current trajectory. You are at a crossroads. Warrior, you can continue down this path of slow surrender, or you can draw a line in the sand, right here, right now, and declare war. This is not a modern problem, warrior. Do not grant your weakness the dignity of novelty. The digital fog you are lost in is just the newest form of an ancient storm. The notifications, the endless scroll, the constant pull of the trivial, these are merely new names for an old enemy. 2,000 years ago, in the chaos of the Roman Forum, in the mud and blood of the battlefield, men like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus saw this same disease of the soul. They were not philosophers in quiet rooms. They were generals, statesmen, and survivors who diagnosed the sickness of the undisciplined mind while empires rose and fell around them. They saw how easily a man could become a slave, not to a foreign king, but to his own untamed impulses. The technology has changed, but the treason of the human will has not. You are fighting the same war they fought. The fundamental error, the crack in your operating system that the Stoics identified, is this: you have forgotten what is yours to command. They called it the dichotomy of control, and it is the master key to your chains. Some things are within your power, your judgments, your intentions, your will to act. Everything else is not. The ping of your phone is not in your power. The demands of your boss are not in your power. The algorithm's desperate plea for your attention is not in your power. Your agony comes from a life spent furiously trying to control this external storm, while completely neglecting the one thing you were born to rule: your own response. You are a king who has abandoned his throne to go shout at the rain, leaving the gates of your kingdom wide open for any invader to march right in. Every moment of your day, you are bombarded with what the Stoics called impressions: a thought, an urge, a notification, an email subject line. These are nothing. They are phantoms, whispers in the wind. They have no power over you. Your weakness, your self-betrayal happens in the split second you give them power. You give them what they called assent. You agree that the notification is urgent. You agree that the urge for distraction must be obeyed. You agree that the difficult task is too painful to face right now. You are giving your royal seal of approval to your own enslavement. Epictetus warned that we are not disturbed by things, but by the views we take of them. You are not a victim of distraction. You are a willing co-conspirator in your own downfall, assenting to every petty tyrant that appears at the door of your senses. This is a war fueled by two primal forces, desire and aversion. You are ruled by an insatiable desire for comfort, for novelty, for the cheap dopamine hit of the easy thing. And you are ruled by a mortal aversion to pain, to boredom, to the focused effort that real achievement demands. The modern world is an engine built to perfection to exploit this. The algorithm of mediocrity is your drug dealer, and it knows your cravings better than you do. It feeds your desire for distraction with an infinite supply and validates your aversion to hard work by making escape effortless. Seneca saw this 2 millennia ago. Wild animals run from the dangers they actually see, and once they have escaped them, worry no more. We, however, are tormented alike by what is past and what is to come. You are fleeing not real tigers, but the phantom pain of discipline, running straight into the very real prison of a wasted life. The great Stoic emperor, Marcus Aurelius, spoke of an inner citadel, a fortress of the mind, a sanctuary of reason and will that no external chaos could ever breach. This is your birthright, warrior. You were born with the ground on which to build it, but you never did the work. You never quarried the stones of discipline. You never mixed the mortar of routine. You never manned the walls with vigilance. And so your mind is not a fortress, it is a field of ruins. Every passing whim, every fleeting emotion, every external demand is a barbarian horde that rides straight through, pillaging your focus and burning your ambition. You have no command center, you have no defenses. You are living as a refugee in your own mind, praying the invaders will be merciful today. This is not the life of a warrior, it is the life of a slave. And so you seek salvation in the wrong place. You look for an external fix for an internal rot. You download the new productivity app, you buy the new planner, you listen to the new motivational guru, believing that the next tool will finally be the one that saves you. The Stoics knew this was a fool's errand. This is like a sick man redecorating his house, hoping it will cure his disease. The tools are irrelevant when the will of the user is broken. No system can give you discipline. No app can grant you focus. No speaker can bestow upon you courage. They are illusions, distractions from the one brutal truth you have been avoiding. The problem is you. The weakness is inside the walls. And until you turn inward and fight the battle for control of your own mind, you will forever be a victim of your circumstances. Let's be clear. This is not a battle against distraction. This is a war for sovereignty. It is the fight to restore a legitimate government to the lawless territory of your own mind. It is about seizing the throne that is rightfully yours. The Stoics were not just physicians who diagnosed this sickness. They were armorers who forged the weapons to defeat it. They created a code, a practical, battle-tested system for building the inner citadel, for training the will, and for turning a mind from a chaotic liability into a precision instrument of power. The pain you feel is ancient. The enemy you face is timeless. But so is the weapon we are about to unsheathe. Your apprenticeship in the art of mental warfare has just begun. Now, we will learn to fight back. So you have seen the rot, you have faced the enemy in the mirror. Now we forge the first weapon. This is not a concept, it is not a theory. It is the first brutal law of power, and it is the bedrock of your inner citadel. Engrave it on the inside of your skull. You command nothing but your will. Read that again. Let its terrifying simplicity wash over you. Everything you have been fighting, everything you have been stressing over, everything that has stolen your peace and fractured your focus, the opinions of others, the whims of your boss, the fluctuations of the market, the algorithm itself is outside of your jurisdiction. You have been acting like a mad king, screaming orders at the tide and then weeping with frustration when it refuses to obey. Your exhaustion is not the exhaustion of a warrior. It is the exhaustion of a fool who has declared war on reality itself. Your entire life has been a frantic, desperate attempt to violate this law. You try to control what people think of you, so you dilute your words and actions until they are meaningless. You try to control the outcome of your projects, so you are paralyzed by anxiety and a fear of failure. You try to control the flood of incoming information, so you drown in a sea of notifications and trivial demands. You are fighting a war on a million fronts, a war you are guaranteed to lose. because you are fighting on territory that was never yours to begin with. This is the source of all your weakness, warrior. You have abandoned the one fortress you were born to command, your mind, to go fight skirmishes in the mud of the uncontrollable. You are a general who has left his castle undefended to go chase butterflies. The price for this ignorance is your soul. Every ounce of energy you spend raging against an external event is energy stolen from your own growth. Every moment of anxiety over a future you cannot predict is a moment you are not building the discipline to handle whatever comes. You are a leaky vessel, pouring your precious life force into the dirt. This is why you feel powerless. You're giving your power away, freely and foolishly, to every phantom and every shadow that flits across your path. You have made your inner peace conditional on an ever-changing, chaotic world. You have, in effect, handed the keys to your own mind to your worst enemies: chance, circumstance, and the opinions of other people. Your internal state has become a puppet, and you let the entire world pull the strings. It is time to redefine power. True power is not the ability to bend the world to your will. That is the fantasy of a child. True power is the ability to forge a will that the world cannot bend. It is the supreme authority to choose your response regardless of the stimulus. The storm can rage, the waves can crash, the winds can howl. The rock does not care. It stands. The rock does not waste its energy trying to calm the sea. It focuses its entire existence on one thing: being a rock. Your will is that rock, warrior. Your judgments, your actions, your principles. This is the only ground you will ever truly own. To be a Stoic is to abandon the futile ambition of being the master of the sea and to embrace the sacred duty of becoming the unbreakable rock. This is your new tactical protocol. In every situation, from this moment until your last breath, you will perform a mental triage. You will look at the event and ask one question: is this within my control? If the answer is no, if it is an external event, another person's action, a thought that has already passed, you will practice the art of supreme indifference. You will let it wash over you and pass. You will not give it a cent. You will not grant it 1 second of your focus or 1 drop of your emotional energy. But if the answer is yes, if it is your next action, your judgment about the event, your decision to focus or to falter, then you will bring the entire force of your being to bear. On it, you will attack it with absolute discipline and undivided attention. This is not passivity. This is the ruthless and strategic allocation of your power. This law is not a cage. It is your liberation. The suffocating weight you feel is the burden of trying to carry the entire world on your shoulders. The first brutal law gives you permission to put it down. Let it go. Release your death grip on the uncontrollable. The opinions of others, let them go. The failures of your past, let them go. The anxieties of the future, let them go. The only thing you are required to hold is the standard of your own character in this present moment. By surrendering the illusion of total control, you gain actual control over the one thing that matters. You stop being a victim of your life and you become the master of your soul. This is the great paradox. Your invincibility begins the moment you accept your own powerlessness over everything but yourself. Therefore, this is your new creed. This is your first commandment as a warrior in training. You will wake up tomorrow and you will see the world through this lens. You will divide every event, every person, and every piece of information into one of 2 categories: the uncontrollable or the commanded. You will practice a sacred indifference to the first, and you will wage a relentless, disciplined war on the second. You will stop bleeding out your power on things you cannot change. You will concentrate all your strength on shaping the one thing you can, your own chosen response. This is the first step to building the inner citadel. It is the foundation stone. Without it, Everything else will crumble. You command nothing but your will. Now start acting like it. Now the steel is heated. The theory is white hot, but it is useless until it is hammered into shape on the anvil of your daily life. This law, that you command only your will, is not a comforting platitude to be contemplated. It is a sword, and a sword is meant for one thing, to be wielded in battle. Your battlefield is not some distant, glorious war. It is the next 10 minutes. It is the urge to hit the snooze button. It is the flash of anger in traffic. It is the wave of despair that hits when you face a setback. It is here in the mud and grime of the ordinary that you will either forge your armor or be broken. So let's go to war. The alarm rings. Your mission for the day, the one critical task you must complete, awaits. But the enemy is already inside the walls. The voice of the default whispers its siren song of comfort. Just 5 more minutes. The bed is warm. The work is hard. You can do it later. This feeling of lethargy, this gravitational pull of mediocrity, is not in your control. It is an impression, a chemical reaction, a phantom. The undisciplined man assents to it. He believes the feeling is a command. He surrenders. But you, the warrior, will apply the law. You will acknowledge the feeling without bowing to it. You will recognize that the choice to swing your legs out of bed and plant your feet on the floor is entirely, absolutely within your command. Your first victory of the day is not in doing the work. It is in the brutal, simple act of choosing to rise when every fiber of your being screams for surrender. You are driving to work, your mind focused on the mission. Suddenly, another car cuts you off, a hair's breadth from collision. A surge of hot adrenaline floods your system. Your heart pounds. Your hands clench the wheel. This is the moment of truth. The other driver's recklessness, uncontrollable. The surge of anger in your veins. An initial, uncontrollable impression. The slave to emotion assents. He leans on the horn. He screams. He lets this stranger's incompetence poison his mind and hijack his entire morning. He has handed the keys to his inner citadel to a fool in another car. The Stoic warrior does the opposite. He observes the anger as one might observe a storm cloud. He refuses to give it assent. He chooses his response, a deep breath. He returns his focus to the road, to his mission. He has not suppressed the anger. He has refused to grant it sovereignty. He remains king of his own mind. You receive the email. You lost the client. The project failed. A wave of cold dread washes over you. The voice of defeat whispers, "You're not good enough." This is a catastrophe. The past event, the failure, is now sealed. It is utterly uncontrollable. The feeling of pain is real. It is sharp, but your judgment about the event is the one thing you still command. The undisciplined mind assents to the voice of defeat. It wallows, it catastrophizes, it allows a single lost battle to convince it the war is over. But the warrior applies the law. The event was an outcome, not an identity. The pain is a signal, not a verdict. He asks, what can I learn from this? How can this failure forge me into a sharper weapon? What is my next commanded move? He refuses to assent to the judgment of catastrophe, and instead assents to the judgment of lesson. He turns poison into medicine. He turns the rubble of defeat into the foundation of his next fortress. Do you see the pattern, warrior? This is not about becoming a passionless machine. It is about becoming the master of your own internal fire. Laziness, anger, fear, despair, these are not your enemies. They are raw energy. The undisciplined mind lets this energy burn the house down. It assents to every spark, fanning the flames of chaos until it is consumed. The Stoic warrior becomes a blacksmith. He takes that same raw, fiery energy and channels it. He contains it within the forge of his will and uses its heat to shape his character. He understands that the feeling is not the truth. The impression is not the event. His power lies in that sacred, silent space between stimulus and response. In that space, he is not a victim. He is a king, and he alone decides which judgments are given the royal seal of his assent. This is why we create the architect's decree. It is not a to-do list. It is your written declaration of control for the day. When you sit down with that blank page, you are not planning your time. You are fortifying your will. By writing down your one mission, you are defining the sole territory you will defend. This is what you command. By listing the predictable invaders, the distractions, the urges, the potential interruptions, you are preemptively stripping them of their power. You are looking your enemy in the eye before the battle even begins and declaring, "I see you, I know your tricks, and I will not assent." This simple 3-minute ritual is the physical act of drawing the line between the controllable and the uncontrollable. It is the sharpening of your sword before you step onto the battlefield of your day. The time for theory is over. Your transformation from slave to sovereign begins with your next sunrise. Tomorrow morning, before you touch your phone, before you let the world's noise flood your mind, you will perform this ritual. You will take a piece of paper. You will define your mission. You will name your invaders. This is your first act as the commander of your own soul. You will feel a shift, a quiet, solid power that has nothing to do with motivation and everything to do with control. You are no longer hoping for a good day. You are issuing a decree. You are laying down the law for your own mind. This is the first step. This is how you stop being a victim of your life and start becoming the architect of your victory. Do not think about it. Do not debate it. Commit to it now. Your new life is waiting on your command. What happens in the days and weeks after you first draw that line in the sand? There is no lightning strike, no chorus of angels. The change is quieter, deeper, and far more powerful. It is the slow, grinding shift of tectonic plates deep within your soul. The frantic, chaotic scramble of your old life begins to fade, replaced by the quiet, powerful hum of a well-oiled machine. You're no longer a leaf in the wind, tossed about by every gust of external demand and internal whim. You are the mountain. The winds of urgency still howl, the storms of distraction still rage, but for the first time, you feel your own immense, unmoving weight. You feel the unshakable gravity of your own will. Look at your body. Before, it was a monument to compromise, a soft container for a scattered mind. Now, it is becoming a weapon system. The simple, brutal act of commanding your will to rise before the sun, to fuel your body with discipline instead of impulse, has ignited a furnace within you. The morning lethargy is burned away, replaced by a clean, sharp energy that lasts. You move with a purpose that was absent before. You are no longer dragging a corpse through your day. You are piloting a finely tuned instrument. You have rediscovered the ancient, unbreakable law that the undisciplined have forgotten. A disciplined body forges a disciplined mind. Your physical transformation is the first, undeniable proof that you are no longer a slave to your feelings, but the commander of your actions. Your work, once a source of constant anxiety and shallow busyness, is now your forge. You are no longer the janitor of trivialities, frantically sweeping up the endless dust of emails and notifications. You have become the master craftsman. By defending that one sacred mission on your architect's decree, you have rediscovered the lost art of deep, unbroken focus. The shallow dopamine hits of a cleared inbox have turned to ash in your mouth, tasteless compared to the profound, soul-deep satisfaction of creating something of value, of solving a hard problem, of pushing the boundaries of your own potential. You are producing less noise and more signal. Your colleagues don't understand it, but they see it. They see the quiet confidence, the ruthless efficiency, the undeniable quality of a warrior who has gone to battle with his own mediocrity and won. The poison has stopped seeping into your relationships. You are no longer a ghost at your own dinner table, a vacant set of eyes staring through the people you love towards the phantom glow of a screen. When you are present now, you are fully present. Your focus, once a fragmented and scarce commodity, has become the greatest gift you can offer. You listen not with the intent to reply, but with the intent to understand. You look into the eyes of another human being and give them the one thing the world is trying to steal from everyone: your undivided soul. Your connections are deepening, not because you are spending more time, but because the time you spend has become real. You are building a legacy not just in your work, but in the unbreakable bonds forged by the simple, sacred power of your attention. You were sold a lie about freedom, warrior. You thought freedom was the absence of restraint, the ability to indulge any whim, chase any distraction, and obey any impulse. That was not freedom. It was the most sophisticated form of slavery ever devised. It was the freedom of an addict in a room full of his own poison. The new reality you are building is founded on a different, more powerful definition of liberty. True freedom is freedom from your own weakness. It is freedom from the tyranny of your appetites, freedom from the algorithm's leash. The iron bars of discipline have not created a prison. They have built the walls of your kingdom. Inside these walls, you are sovereign. You are the one who decides. This is the freedom the Stoics knew, the freedom of the unbreakable will. And the voice, the treasonous whisper of the default that once ruled your mind, it has not vanished, but it has been starved. It has been weakened. It has been stripped of its authority. The ping of a notification no longer sends a jolt of command through your nervous system. It is merely a sound, an external event you observe with indifference. The urge to escape the difficult task is no longer a tidal wave that sweeps you away. It is a ripple on the surface of a deep, calm lake. You have cut its supply lines. By consistently refusing to assent to its demands, you have demonstrated through action who is in command. The undisciplined mind, like any tyrant, rules only through the consent of the governed. You have withdrawn your consent. The throne is now yours. This is not a new set of habits, warrior. This is a new identity. The person who negotiated with the snooze button is dead. The person who traded their ambition for a cheap scroll is a ghost. You are not trying to be disciplined any more than a blacksmith tries to swing a hammer. It is who you are. It is what you do. The architect's decree is not a chore. It is the natural expression of a mind that commands itself. You have been reforged. The soft iron of your old self, easily bent by heat and pressure, has been hammered, quenched, and tempered into steel. That day you stopped trying to manage your time. You started commanding your focus, and in doing so, you finally began to live. The time for philosophy is over. The time for action is now. A warrior is not defined by what he thinks, but by what he does repeatedly in the face of resistance. Discipline is not a feeling. It is a ritual. It is the daily sharpening of the sword, the daily inspection of the armor, the daily study of the battlefield map. Your new identity as the commander of. Your soul is not sustained by hope. It is forged day after day in the fire of a simple, brutal, and non-negotiable practice. This is your forging. This is the ritual that separates the architect from the victim. We call it the architect's decree. Forget your complex apps, your digital calendars, your endless to-do lists. They are the tools of the busy, not the weapons of the effective. Your weapon is a single blank piece of paper and a pen, and 3 minutes of absolute, ruthless honesty before the world's noise can infect your mind. This is not a plan. It is a declaration of war. It is you, the sovereign, issuing a decree to your own mind and to the world, defining the terms of the day's victory before the first battle has even begun. This simple piece of paper will become the most sacred text in your life, the constitution of your inner citadel. First, you will take this paper and draw one large box in the center. At the top of this box, you will write the words, "The mission." Inside this box, you will write one thing, not 10, not 3, 1. You will write the single most important task that, if completed, will constitute a victory for the day. This is your hill to take. This is the section of the enemy's wall you will breach. It must be a task that requires your deepest focus, an act of creation, not reaction. This is the work that moves the needle, the work the undisciplined voice fears. By defining it, you are drawing the boundaries of your fortress. Everything. Inside this box is what you will defend with your life today. Everything else is just noise. Next, outside the box, you will become the general of your own army, anticipating the enemy's attack. You will list the predictable invaders. You know what they are. The siren call of your email inbox, the phantom buzz of your phone, the treasonous whisper of the voice of the default telling you to just check it for a minute. Name them, write them down. Social media scroll, pointless news, non-urgent requests. By naming them, you strip them of their ambush power. You are looking your enemy in the eye and telling them, "I see you. I know your strategy. And today, you will find the gates of this fortress closed." Now, the final and most crucial step. Beneath your list of invaders, you will write your standing orders, your personal Stoic response. Write these exact words. "I will acknowledge, but I will not engage. The mission is the fortress." This is your pre-commitment. This is you in a moment of cold, clear reason, making the decision for your future weaker self. When the notification pings, you will acknowledge its existence. You are not a hermit, but you will not engage. You will not grant it assent. You will let it pass like a cloud in the sky while you remain rooted in the work within your fortress. You have already decided. The debate is over before it began. This is your first act of true command. Do this tomorrow morning before you touch your phone. This 3-minute ritual is the physical manifestation of the dichotomy of control. You are identifying what you command, the mission, and you are building a wall against what you do not. You are no longer hoping to have a focused day. You are decreeing it. This piece of paper is not a suggestion. It is the law. It is the architectural blueprint for your victory. The undisciplined man wakes up and asks the day what it wants from him. The Stoic warrior wakes up and tells the day what he demands of himself. Now go and prepare your decree. The battle begins at dawn. The forge is now closed. The steel has been quenched. Look at what you have become. You walked into this fire a slave to the chaos, a victim of the digital fog, a king without a kingdom. Now you stand as the architect of your day, the sovereign of your soul. We have stripped away the lies. We have exposed the enemy within. We have handed you the ancient, brutal laws of power. You now know that you command nothing but your will, and you know that this is the only thing worth commanding. You hold the weapon of the architect's decree, not a mere list of tasks, but a written declaration of your sovereignty, the constitution of your inner citadel. This is not a temporary fix. This is a permanent shift in your identity. You are no longer the person who negotiates with mediocrity. You are the Stoic warrior. The world's noise has not been silenced. It has been rendered irrelevant. The demands will still come. The Uber distractions will still beckon, but they no longer have a claim on you. They are barbarians, screaming at the gates of a fortress they can never breach. Your peace is no longer conditional. Your power is no longer borrowed. It is forged from the iron of your own disciplined will, right here, in the present moment. You are the rock that breaks the wave. Let this be the final seal on your new armor. Let this be the decree you carry into every battle, every moment of doubt, every temptation to Surrender. Burn it into your mind until it is the rhythm of your own heartbeat. Forget every other mantra. This is your code. This is your law. This is your crown. The world will make its demands. I will make my decree. My focus is the fortress. My will is the king. Say it. Feel its weight. This is the final truth. External chaos has no authority over the disciplined mind. You are the one who decides. The battle is not over. The true war begins now, in the quiet moments of your daily life. If this fire has been lit within you, prove it. Go to the comments right now and write the creed that will guide your next 24 hours. Make it your public oath. Share this war cry with another warrior who is lost in the fog, sleeping on their own potential. They need this awakening. Subscribe to this channel to continue sharpening your sword, for the training is relentless and the enemy never rests. Do not mistake this feeling for a fleeting burst of motivation. This is a calling, a summons to a higher standard of living, a life of command, not of reaction. The path is simple, but it is not easy. It requires you to show up every single day and choose the hard thing, to choose discipline over comfort, to choose the mission over the noise. The path of the Stoic warrior is walked one deliberate step at a time. The discipline is daily. We will see you in the arena.